I want to welcome all of you to Chats in the Garden, and I want to thank all of you for participating. This is a conversation about the real estate market, especially in Palm Beach, Florida, but all over the country. Is this a time where opportunity is knocking at your door? And should you be paying attention to this? Only in these small town newspapers, but maybe other places, the headlines are about each time a house is sold, we get higher and higher and higher numbers to show you that this real estate market is not only for your home, it's perfect for your savings, possibly for investing, which gives you an income. It could be a commodity. I think we're entering a time that everybody should think about. Therefore, we have invited David Curie, who is a real estate lawyer for how many years?
30 years.
30 years, specializing in commercial real estate. We have Kara, who is with Douglas Elliman, who is an officer there, or a person at Douglas Elliman. Douglas Elliman has offices all over America. She's in the office in Palm Beach, Florida, and specializes in high net housing. Her family has been in real estate and politics in this community. We have Bill Benjamin, who is with First Republic Bank, and you go to him for your loans. That's very important. And then Lynn Olson, who has her own independent brokerage firm, who's been working here for 30 years and has been listed in Wall Street Journal as one of the top real estate brokers in America. So if you're ever going to know any information, you got it with our guys here. And so we're hoping that we will have a dialogue, not so much a formal deal, but talking with each other, and hoping this will tell you, go buy a home or put your money into real estate. Let's start with the Palm Beach market, and I'm going to turn to Lynn. Will you please tell me what you are seeing and how you're feeling about it?
Well, Palm Beach market is really strong. It always has been a fabulous investment for many, many years, and particularly now. Everybody wants to buy a hard asset. With the market global uncertainty, what's going on, stock market fluctuations, things of that sort, people want a hard asset to hold on to, and to know Palm Beach, even if it went down in 2008, the markets always rise to a higher number. You can't beat it. It's the best place to be, best place to hold your money. It's a hot asset. And the rentals are sky high. We're renting properties in this very neighborhood for $40,000 a month in the summer. So it's amazing.
Wow.
It's really amazing, and property values go up, so you can't beat buying in Palm Beach. What can I say?
Well,
it's the best investment you'll ever make.
Okay, you personally own a home.
I own several.
You own several homes. You chose to invest there.
That's correct.
Okay.
I prefer it to the market. It's my business. I know it. I know, that's the best thing to do. I'm not a stock market lady. I believe I like to hold it. I like to touch it. I like to rent them. I just rented one of my houses out for the full asking price to a fellow from JP Morgan. Why are they coming here? Young families are coming here. They're fleeing New York. They're fleeing COVID. They don't want dense areas. They want to be in Palm Beach where the sun is out, where their kids can ride bikes.
And safe.
Where it's safe, and they have a great, it's the best place to be. And they're all coming, young families. I've had 3 offers on the same house in the same day.
Wow.
Exactly.
Kara, please tell me what you're seeing, as you do a lot also in West Palm Beach as well.
I do. I straddle Palm Beach and West Palm, and both markets are really on fire. What I'm seeing as the driving force is quality of life. The COVID impact has really been a beneficiary to the Palm Beach market because it's always been beautiful. The climate's always been amazing. The history, the preservation, just the mere geography of it. But what's really driving people now is that quality, the breathing room that we have here, the slow pace, almost the constant perma vacation mode. I think that people have learned that the importance of a home is really, really valuable right now.
I think people my age are finding out they don't have to run around as much as they did,
Yeah.
because right here it was very hectic, and this year all of a sudden everybody's saying, oh my God, I have free time, because everybody was afraid to go out. So you find that your home is really where your heart is.
Exactly.
And I think that's extremely interesting. And tell me about the schooling here for younger families.
So we're seeing younger families, because of the COVID, the fear of the second wave and virtual school, that there's been over 100 families trying to enroll in the private school system here. Many of the schools are full already, so there's waiting lists. And what I've actually learned from the last few clients I've worked with, that they've dual enrolled in the northern states and down here, so that they're protected no matter which way everything goes.
Okay. What about, are there schools that they can go to that are specialized schools, so that if they don't get into a private school, they can still get a good education?
Well, the Palm Beach Public School is amazing. It's kind of a hidden gem on the island.
Right.
And if you live on the island or in West Palm Beach in the zone, you automatically can attend.
And it goes from what to what?
It goes from kindergarten through 5th. My daughter actually goes there in the gifted program, and we couldn't be happier.
And where would they go afterwards?
Afterwards, you have a lot of options. The art schools are really popular. And then King's Academy is a private school that some people kind of feed off into, but there's many options.
So Palm Beach, quote, is not only for old people.
That's right.
Far
Okay.
from it now.
Far from it. That is fabulous. Now, I'm going to ask Bill Benjamin about this. Tell me about financing.
Financing, good question. Well, importantly, Dale, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to have the opportunity to be a part of this panel and speak with you and be a part of the Code Air Institute. Financing has held a very materially strong place in this current market, and some of the trends that both Linda and Kara have alluded to. The demands for financing, as Florida has continued before the pandemic to be a place where people are looking as a tax haven. We have no state income tax. With technology nowadays, you can run your business from just about anywhere. So, as people were thinking about Southeast Florida as a potential place to live, and then you layer in the pandemic, you really see this sort of perfect scenario where you've got a big boom in real estate. And with that, you're also seeing a lot of people that are taking advantage of low interest rates and financing these properties. So, it was already very, very strong. The market was very strong from a purchase financing standpoint. Prior to the pandemic, I would say I saw a pretty material uptick, particularly from those coming down from the Northeast in about 2015. And since then, it's been a steady increase in just consistent deal flow across the board, whether it's new people to the market with purchase financing, or people taking advantage of the great rates that we're seeing in this environment right now.
Terrific. Are you lending?
Lots. Yeah, we are doing lots of lending.
Okay. So now they know where to go. First Republic Bank. It's my bank.
It's my bank too.
Me too.
So they do. You're terrific, and I thank you for lending me towards my house.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity.
So I'd like to talk to David. David's in commercial real estate. He's been the lawyer forever, 30 years is almost ever, in commercial. That was my background at one time. I can say in my former life, you don't bet against it. Don't bet against New York. Don't bet against any towns, because when it looks the worst, that's when you should get in. Your advice.
Yeah, this will be the fourth recession that I've lived through, and each of the prior three, the opportunities coming out of it were amazing. And just like Dale said, it's when everybody else is hunkering down, hoarding their cash, staying away from the market, that's when the opportunistic investors find the opportunities, whether it's buying distressed real estate, buying distressed debt on a loan-to-own platform, buying distressed debt for pure yield purposes, providing rescue capital to sponsors who may be cash-strapped, whatever it may be, there will be opportunities. I think in this current recession, it's a little too early on to see what they're going to be. I think people have been able to scrape by the past couple months. Rent collections have been low, but but enough that they haven't had to go out and seek rescue capital yet. Lenders have been somewhat forgiving in the short term in terms of modifying loan terms, no amortization for the rest of the year, deferring payments. But to the extent this recession continues much longer, the sponsors that are not well capitalized are going to look for exit strategy, whether it's, again, rescue capital, giving the property back to the lender, short sales, whatever it may be.
Well, let me ask you a question. How do they get into it? Say I am an individual. I know about real estate trusts, and they were in the stock market. They were going down, but many of them continue still to pay dividends. Maybe not as high as they were paying, but they're paying dividends. So it's a good place for an income. And maybe now that the market way down, it's a good entry point. And the ones that you are talking about, some of them where you actually are a partner with an existing company that invests. So how does someone go and get involved in it?
Yeah, sure. There's a variety of ways to get involved. The easiest is the public markets, buying shares of publicly traded REITs. I actually looked this morning at a couple of them. Boston Properties, who tends to own Class A office buildings, trading right about 100, which is kind of their midpoint over the last 12 months of their high and their low, but their dividend is almost 4%. Regency, which focuses in the retail space, again, trading at 48, which is about also its midpoint over the past 12 months, slightly higher dividend, almost 5%. Avalon Bay, which is in the multifamily space, again, trading at 171, again, about its midpoint where it's been over the past 12 months. So the lows were in February for all of these. They've started to come back up. I'm sorry, the lows were after February, after the pandemic set in. They've started to come back up. Other ways to get in the market would be through the private equity space, which either traditional private equity, which they tend not to advertise and publicly seek their investors. It tends to go through existing relationships, financial advisors, wealth advisors. Some of the brokerage houses will help get you in the door. Those will can provide a better return. A couple funds I've been involved with over the years, funds that came out of the 2009 recession ended up with IRRs, internal rate of return, in excess of 20, multiples of 2x. More recent funds, more of a mid-teen IRR with a multiple in the 1.5, 1.7 area. But you lose the liquidity. Your money's in, it's committed. You can't get it out until the fund is ready to start selling off assets and returning its funds to investors. If you don't honor your capital commitment, there can be fairly punitive provisions. So you trade higher yield, potentially higher yield, for the lack of liquidity. They also tend to have fairly large initial investment hurdles. If someone's interested in not committing that much capital, there's a relatively new phenomenon that came around in 2013 called crowdfunding. Not really tested yet. It'll be interesting to see how it survives this recession. But those are opportunities for people to do the same thing, essentially private equity investment. But the person on the street can get in for investments as low as $1,000, $10,000, $25,000 with the same basic idea. You're buying into a professionally managed portfolio of assets and looking for higher yield than a REIT might provide, and a better multiple. The other phenomena that comes and goes and has a little bit of a shady background because of some questionable operators, there's a concept called a tenant in common, a TIC investment, which is a way for people to invest, again, similar to a private equity platform, but rather than being a partner, you actually have direct ownership. There's very specific tax rules. They can sometimes provide great opportunity, great upside, but again, the sponsorship needs to be closely investigated.
Thank you. I think, and you could even do this, people can get together and buy a house.
Exactly.
I mean, they can.
Well, a house is a great investment.
That's right. So, I mean, for
Constantly
a
rented,
little,
good income stream, and also, good deductions.
Yeah.
Works out very well.
because with our marketplace and with the tax law, that you can depreciate a house. At one time, you got recaptured when you did it, when you sold it, but right now you're not getting recaptured. So it turns out to be a tax haven. Well, I just think, do you have any other things to say?
I just know real estate's the best investment you can ever make, particularly in Palm Beach.
And what do you feel?
I think real estate will, particularly here locally, the trends, the absorption rates, to allude to something that David mentioned, when I think about our commercial real estate portfolio,
That's right.
having done, it's a little bit of rain coming. It's all right.
Yeah, I
Our
think
skin's waterproof. Um,
It's refreshing.
Anyway,
when we've looked sort of at our investment portfolio and the commercial assets that we have in there, we haven't seen any delinquencies or default rates, no forbearance, which is interesting. I think if you're going to be investing in real estate, just make sure that going into it, you're making an informed decision, and the amount of debt that you're taking on can be supported by the amount of income that you take in, and those are all super important considerations as you navigate the real estate market, particularly when thinking about using some debt to acquire it.
Thank you. It's raining at this point, so I think I'm going to end our discussion unless you have something wonderful to say that we haven't said. I hope everybody realizes this is an opportunity for you guys. And do you
always best to hire a realtor that's a professional.
Absolutely.
Karen, it's nice to rely on a professional towards your end, to have somebody to guide you through the, what's a better buy and what isn't, and to have proper banking.
I
and
totally agree with you.
hire a professional.
Absolutely,
To
'cause
hire a professional.
Hopefully. And the two women that are here and others that work in firms, they are honest and honorable.
Thank you,
That's
Dale.
the
you,
most
Dale.
important thing I can say to you. And check up and see, and anybody else can check what other things have been selling. But if it's your home, you got to walk in there and have it feel like it belongs to you, because that's where you're going to spend a lot of your life and your children's life. So I welcome you to all participate in it, and I thank you all
Thank you.
for doing
Thank you,
this
Dale.
and sitting in the rain.
It's lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.